Hey Leo, welcome to your Lionsgate reading. Let's jump right in and see what theme or energy is surrounding this reading for you guys. And for my Leo collective, we have decrease. Okay, so this card can mean a couple of things, and we'll get some more clarification once we get into your tarot. But when we think about decrease, it's a cycle, right? Life ebbs and flows. So this may be a situation where you start slowing down with some of the things that you do, or you might sort of start paring back on the material things that you have. This could be you sort of taking a little time out for yourself and decreasing the energy that you give to other people. It may be decreasing some of the energy that you give to yourself and maybe picking up some friendships or other things that you have neglected. But whatever the case, it feels like there is either a reduction that's happening in some place in your life or a reduction that's going to be necessary in order for you to move forward. So I'm not getting the feeling that you need to give up money or anything like that, but there's something that it feels like there needs to be less of as you go into this new chapter. So let's pull some cards and see what other details we can get. So in terms of things that you might need to leave behind, we have the Seven of Cups. All right, for my Leos, and I say this with a little bit of a smile on my face, it feels like you are doing entirely too much. With the Seven of Cups, this is about having a lot of options, a lot of opportunities. Not all of them are created equally. And the Seven of Cups can also be a card of disillusionment, right? And optics. And so for a lot of you out there, it really does feel like you are doing the absolute most. And don't get mad at me, but it also feels like you might be accomplishing the least with all of this. It feels like a very, very scattered energy that you're kind of all over the place. And we have that clarified by the Knight of Wands in reverse, and we also have the Devil in reverse. So with the Knight of Wands in reverse, it tells me that all of this energy that you're expending, exploring here and there, and you're this place and you're that place, and you're doing this and you're doing that, it doesn't feel as though there's anything that you are particularly passionate about. I think that, Leo, if you were, that you would be able to focus in on one or two things that you were really, really super excited and super passionate about, and you would spend your time on doing that. With the Devil in reverse, it almost feels as though there's a sense of you not wanting to be hyper focused or appear obsessive about any one thing. But as a result of that, it's like it doesn't feel like there's a lot that's getting done because this energy is so spread out that there's not a focus on any one particular thing, which means that you're not really giving anything 100%. It's like 10% here, 5% there. We might throw in 7% over there, but everything's just kind of floating. Like it doesn't feel like there's much that's happening. So it feels like going into Lionsgate, going through it, that there might be a need to sort of let go of that energy and start figuring out what it is that you truly, truly want to focus on. So what is it that you should take with you? Oh Lord, you got cards flipping out all over the place. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse, the Page of Swords, and the High Priestess. So interesting combination of cards here for you, Leo. Particularly with the High Priestess, I think that there's a sense that you already have of like, this is not working very well for me. I don't feel like I'm accomplishing anything. It feels like nothing's getting done. I would not be surprised if for a lot of you out there that there is a sense of stagnancy and that things are just not moving, either in the direction that you want or just progressing at all. And I think that that's a byproduct of where your energy has gone. There's also, I think, very much a need for you to really stop and take inventory of where you are and what it is that you truly want. So the Page of Swords is not necessarily very action oriented, right? They're taking a cautious step forward, but they got their hand up kind of like, okay, what's next? What's next? What's next? And they're holding what I call their sword of truth. So they're trying to collect information. They're more observant than anything else. They're not rushing forward into anything. And so I think that going forward, this is going to be you trusting your intuition and being a lot more conscientious and thoughtful about what your path forward looks like. And with the Page of Pentacles in reverse, this scattered all over the place energy, it's time to sort of cease, right? That this is now the time for you to start grounding yourself. Again, pages are young energy, they're naive, they're just starting out. And so I think that coming into this, you're going to have to sort of let go of a little bit of that naivete and really sort of buckle down. You're going to have to dig in on this one, Leo, because like it's not a bad energy, but it's kind of like a light, airy, all over the place, but nothing's getting done type of vibe. And I don't think that that's where you want to stay forever. So what are you going to find during this process? We have the Tower. So life is not going to change overnight for you, which I think is a good thing. There's going to be a time period where you're sorting out what your options are, thinking through what it is that you want out of life so you can start implementing those changes. And we have the Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Pentacles to clarify. So what I'm seeing for my Leos out there is that there is going to be a progression that's happening for you. So remember that you're taking with you, getting out of this naive Page of Pentacles energy, and you're growing into the Knight of Pentacles and ultimately into the Queen of Pentacles. So the Knight of Pentacles is the slowest moving card in the deck, but when they get results, they tend to be long lasting because they have taken their time to build that foundation that's so important to everything else that you do that follows. And so having that foundation, then you can transition into the Queen of Pentacles, somebody who is supremely grounded in their energy, someone who has built things up over time, someone who is abundant in their own right. And so that's what's coming out of this. Once you get out of this scattered energy, once you stop doing everything and just start focusing on just a couple of things that are truly, truly meaningful for you. Now, the energy that's going to be activated here, we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, and we also have Judgment. So the Nine of Pentacles, it's interesting. It's really about being abundant in your own right. It's having, sort of everything you need. But with the Judgment card, it's really about making a decision. What does that look like to you? And so I think that because you're in this space of not really having everything that you want, and maybe even not knowing what's going to make you content, what is going to make you feel abundant, because you're so all over the place, Leo, that the energy that's being activated is one of decision making. It's like it's sitting down, being thoughtful, having this moment and saying, what's meaningful to me? What's going to make me whole? What's going to make me feel secure, especially when it comes to your finances? So I think for a lot of Leos out there, this may be a situation where you have multiple streams of income. You're over here selling lashes, you over here selling t-shirts and socks and this and that and the other, but you're only selling 2 pairs of lashes. You only selling like 3 socks, 1 t-shirt, instead of like, let's say, building out a beauty brand where you sell 10 different types of lashes and glues and this and that and the other. So focusing that energy on one thing as opposed to putting it everywhere and not really getting a tangible result. And so I think with the Judgment and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse, you are going to sort of activate this energy of saying, what's going to be in my best interest? Because what I'm doing now is not working for me. I'm doing too much and not getting enough in return. So what do I need to do? What decision do I need to make? So that's coming towards you. There's going to be an inflection point that's headed towards my Leos. Now, what's going to become clear to you with the Six of Pentacles is that it's going to take a little bit of time to receive, especially for those of you who are building businesses and things like that. Your customers will come. It's going to be slow, but when you look at this card, especially, you have this person who's reaching for this pentacle that someone, has for them. And it's like, okay, it's just one pentacle. I'm reaching for it. But you see that they got 5 more lined up behind their back. And so this says to me that, especially for those of you who are starting a business, if you get focused, if you get hyper focused on that business and put all of your energy into that, you will start seeing that return coming in. First, you'll get one customer, one sale, and then you'll get another and another and another and another. They're all lined up waiting for you. So that's what's going to become clear, I think, if you're able to sort of settle and focus on this one thing. And we have the Wheel of Fortune. Again, this is not something I think that is just going to be entirely left up to fate. This is something that you are going to ultimately have control over. Your branding, your advertising, everything, but it's going to require you being focused on one area instead of spreading yourself all over the place. Now, how is this going to change you? I kind of love this for Leos. We have the 5 of Pentacles in reverse and the 2 of Swords. So, first off, in making this decision, I think you're going to realize that it's going to be a very conscious decision to kind of shut down, using your energy here and there and everywhere. There's nothing that you're going to be missing out on. With the 5 of Pentacles, it really represents something lacking, especially in terms of finances. You're out in the cold, you're on the outside looking in. And I think that by unbinding yourself and giving yourself the space and freedom to just focus on a couple of things that are important to you, that you are going to see a positive response from it. And you're going to say, oh, wow, you know what? People are really interested in this. People actually like this. I think that this is where I'm supposed to be. People are going to embrace what it is that you have to offer. And so I think that you are, going to get to a place where you sort of, you didn't really have on blinders, which is kind of the issue, is that you were just looking everywhere. But I think that you're going to get to a place where you're able to focus, and it's going to be a good thing for you. In terms of how this is going to benefit you, we have the 7 of Wands. You're not going to be fighting against the current, right? Because the 7 of Wands is really a card of defensiveness. And so, in traditional tarot, you have someone who's kind of standing on the hill. They got their little stick and they're fighting off 6 sticks below them. I don't think you're going to have to feel that way. I do think that this is going to be a situation where you find that things flow a lot more easily, and you're not going to have to be fighting for 5, 6, 7, 8 different things that you're working on at the same time. It might be a situation where you start building, in one place, and then once you get your fingers wrapped around that, you are going to be able to build a little bit more. You can branch off into something else that you add on top of it, but it's not going to feel like a struggle. And we have that clarified with the Queen of Wands. Feels like your spark is going to come back. This thing that you start focusing on, once you make this determination, once you make this judgment call, when you start focusing on that, your excitement is going to come along. And that's what's going to propel you going forward. Ooh, okay. So you're not going to, you're not going to be in a place where you're just constantly scattered and frustrated and not excited about anything. This is going to be what excites you. This is going to be what moves you forward. And a final message from Spirit: think things through and refine your attention. Leo, if this message was not literally what I've been saying this entire reading for you all, now is the time for you to sit and think about what it is that you really want and refine where your attention goes, because this Seven of Cups action is not working out for you at all. And I laugh while I'm saying this because I do think that everything is going to work out for you. I do think that there, especially for my business owners out there, that there is something good that's waiting for you, that there is a market for whatever it is that you're into, but you need to double down on it now. So that's what I got for my Leos. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.